Welcome back. Feel guilty about eating over the holidays? See if you can relate to this. Someone online said, just venting and looking to commiserate, went overboard Thanksgiving weekend and totally beating myself up for it. I've lost almost 55 pounds through tracking my calories. I'm more than halfway to my goal. I joked with my husband to not judge me this weekend because I love Thanksgiving food and it wasn't going to count calories. I deeply regret it now. I know it's probably my own mind playing tricks on me, but I feel heavy, gross, and just out of it. I refuse to weigh myself for the next 2 weeks. I'm so afraid of what the scale will say. Click like if that's something you can relate to. This brings up a ton of questions for me. Most importantly, do you need commiseration for how you eat? What do you think of this outcome and how you're feeling? And is that how you want to live? And some more. Let's talk about it. My name is Reggie. I'm the founder of Fit for Freelance, where I build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching. And I help people build self control so they lose weight without all or nothing crash diets. So let's get into this. On WebMD, I looked it up. I do workside wellness at my other position. The average weight gain during the holidays is anywhere between zero point 0.8 pounds to just under 2 pounds, according to a research review published in the Journal of Obesity. That's linked below on YouTube. So, with things like an estimated 3,500 calories in a pound of fat, you're not likely to see too big of an increase from a few days of less healthy eating. So that's probably comforting for a lot of people. And what that looks like is if the question you could ask is how many days worth of food in surplus would you have to eat? So in order to gain a pound on a 2,500 calorie diet, you'd have to eat 2.4 days worth of food in one day, which is a lot of food. Like you'd have to probably put some extra effort in to do that and gain the weight. So that could be comforting, but I want to help this person or you, if you're having this kind of challenge, think about some of the deeper questions at play when it comes to sustainable health change in the life that you want to live. Right. So the important thing is to re-engage the health process, considering what works for you and how you think about it. What most people get stuck is after the holidays or after a big meal or after a big weekend or something like that. They think I've already messed up some of this, so I'm just not going to try anymore, or I'll start again on January 1st. That's the most common mistake, and that is not helpful because then you have more days of eating a lot more food than you really need, and that can cause you to gain weight. And that's what contributes to this zero point 0.8 pounds to just under 2 pounds gained in the average holiday season because people go long spans being off track with their food and exercise habits and more. So I'll talk about that more during the holiday season, but things to think about. Make sure you get back on track with the health process, and then you can think about what works for you and how you think about it. I do want to point out that when I searched the keyword for feeling guilty about holiday eating, the top result was hold on. Oh, the top result was National Eating Disorders Association, nationaleatingdisorders.org. That was the top search result for feeling guilty about holiday eating. So that's something to point out that this is similar to disordered eating. You may want to use that free screening tool linked below on YouTube to find out if you have symptoms of eating disorder and how you can best get support for that. So, next question to think about. Oh, more on this. It's not just about um, like identifying if you have an eating disorder. It could be a situation where you think or you believe that these kind of eating patterns are normal or common or healthy, right? And you're looking for commiseration or to relate to other people, and you may not have considered that the habits that you're establishing could be an eating disorder. So just something to think about. Use that free screening tool to see what you need to learn. And then what I like to do is help people understand that if you haven't considered these questions or habits, then you have an opportunity to change to see if you actually are already into something that needs more support or if you just needed a different perspective on what can be considered healthy. Hope that makes sense. All right. So, next, she joked with her husband to not judge me. This is a thing that you want to consider when it comes to yourself. Telling someone not to judge you signals that you're judging yourself. Big note there. So the next question you would have is how are you judging yourself based on how you eat? What story do you tell yourself about your body, food, how you eat, how your body looks, all that stuff. If you are going to kind of get ahead of someone else potentially judging you, you're already thinking about what you would say to someone else or what you would think about your own habits and your current patterns. So pay attention to that and make sure you're analyzing what's going on here. Also asking yourself, what's your relationship with your scale weight and the stories that you're telling yourself about it, right? Something else to think about. Are you using your scale weight to keep score for something different from how heavy your body is physically? People do this all the time, and it's potentially unhealthy because you end up with situations like this. Right. So if you have lost 55 pounds, what does that really mean to you? It's usually not about that. It's about something else that you're trying to keep score with, or measure in an abstract way through your scale weight. And that can be very harmful in how you consider yourself and food. I have a video. I talk about this a lot on the channel. Effective ways to measure your weight loss journey. I'll link that below on YouTube. You can check that out, and I'll put it in the cards as well. Another question: how does rigorous calorie counting contribute to how you eat when you're not counting? Something to consider. Um, where most people will get stuck on this part is when you are counting calories or you're on a strict diet, you have a record of not of avoiding the things that you're intending to avoid, right? You have a good thing going on or you believe is a good thing. So you're hitting this calorie goal for however long. The thing is, if you take a step away from that for a second, if you skip a day or if you take some days off, that feels like you're giving yourself a new permission to do things that weren't necessarily restricted in the first place. So you will be like, well, I'm not counting my calories today, so I need to eat as many calories as I can with my like free pass. I think that's called like moral hazard or something, where like you think that you can get away with more stuff just because you're not being tracked for it. You feel like you can just do whatever. And the thing is, when it comes to this, you can always do whatever, but you create a rule that when you're no longer following that rule temporarily, you feel like you can go wild with it. It's like the purge or something, where there's you can do way too much simply because the restriction that you had for yourself is no longer limiting you. Click like that's what you can relate to there. So ask yourself, how does this contribute to how you eat when you're not counting? And is it sustainable for you in the first place? Another thing to consider when you get to the end of your diet, whenever you reach your target weight or you get your goal or whatever, are you going to suddenly stop counting so closely? And then what happens? People tend to overeat again and regain the weight just because they're no longer counting. So, crucial question to ask. And it's a good opportunity to ask it when you're talking about holiday food guilt. Something else I always like to point out is okay to love food, holiday foods, the seasonal pumpkin spice or the turkey and the cranberry sauce and the gravy and all the normal things that come with these holidays. And then all the things that the holidays mean to us, sharing meals and drinks and songs and cookies with friends, all that is okay. You don't want to avoid that in order to specifically lose weight. You want to figure out how you can use these situations so you still enjoy them without feeling restricted. And it doesn't have to contribute to weight gain. You can consider it part of the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So it's okay to love these things. Another question: how do you choose to express your love for it? So if you love turkey and 3 holiday pies at a time, you don't necessarily have to express your love for it by eating half a pie in 2 days. You can find other ways to work around how you choose to express that. You can enjoy it, you can indulge in the moment, you can have a smaller piece that you enjoy more thoroughly. You can also just eat as much as you want, but you want to consider how it fits into the life that you want. And then what do you think about being afraid of your scale weight and the consequences of how you choose to celebrate the holiday? So ultimately, if you choose to express it by eating a ton of these foods, then you probably wouldn't want to feel afraid of your scale weight because you've already made that choice. When you make a choice, you want to consider the consequences of that so you don't regret it later. So a lot of times people go into these holidays or these situations unconsidered, and then when they end up doing that, they start to wonder about the results afterwards. Where if you are more conscious or mindful about your health process, how you consider foods, how food fits into the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams, then you're better able to stay on track with what you want for yourself. You don't end up afraid of like a little machine that measures how heavy your body is. All right. So if that's something you want to change, then You want to change your process so you don't have the consequence of being afraid of your scale. Right. Another question. Lots of questions. This is just something that really opens up how you can think about your health. Is that effective for staying on track with your health goals? So, if you are afraid of your scale because of the choices you made, does that help you with your health goals? Is that going to continue supporting you in your weight loss journey? Probably not, because you were avoiding one of the tools that you're using to track your changes, and then that can be problematic for you. So, all of this consistently points me back to the question that I love to ask on this question on this channel, and the values and vision of Fit for Freelance overall is, what does a healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams look like? And I think more people would do well to contend with this question and really sit and think about what that looks like for them so they can get the results. They can lead the healthy, fulfilling life of their dreams, which can include enjoying your holidays without feeling guilty, enjoying the foods that you want, family, and still staying on track to some of your health goals. Understanding how your health supports your life, how your scale weight doesn't dictate your goals, all this stuff, right? And it's all based on this key question. So make sure you take time to consider this. This is probably the most important one overall, but they're all valuable in the process, because once you have this figured out, then you can understand how you can plan your meals, how you eat, and not feel guilty about it. And that's why I have the guilt free game plan that's linked below. If you want help with sustainable health habits, or your health supports your life, you can book a call so we can talk about what you want, what you've tried, and how it can help. And you can stop feeling bad about enjoying a holiday food, because you don't want that guilt to hold you back from leading the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams. So let me know in the comments what you think. If you're having some holiday food guilt, if you want to talk to me, book a call. And then next, you can watch how to eat as much as you want during the holidays. The video I made previously with some strategies on how to manage your portions and understand how that healthy eating over the holidays fits into everything else you want to do so you can still enjoy yourself. That's today's message. As always, keep practicing. Peace.